Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Real ghost encounters. Some of you have had them. Please share if you can.
All right, I've got a recent one. Be me, newly recruited Army friend, going through basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, wind up with a newish battalion in old shitty barracks. Week 3, my bay mates say one of the wall lockers in our bay keeps opening on its own. I don't believe in ghosts, but I welcome the distraction. Start keeping an eye on that locker. I never catch it swinging open, but I do find the handle partially unsecured several times after I made sure to twist it all the way into the closed position. Weird, but not that weird. Then one night I'm sick, having restless sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night, turn onto my side, and see a smallish female with long, dark, messy hair sitting against that same locker. I'm so annoyed about not being able to sleep that I don't even think about it. I just turn over onto my other side. Wait a minute, peeing. I flip back over and look around. There's no one there. The only other people in the room are fast asleep. I tell myself that I was just seeing things because I was tired or sick and went back to sleep. I was also told that I started chanting in my sleep after that, something I've never done before, but I'm willing to chalk that one up as a side effect of the stressful environment. But wait, there's more. A few days later, be on fire guard duty. My shift is supposed to clean the latrines and showers. There's one large open shower with approximately 6 shower heads, then a little hallway-like alcove with 3 individual shower stalls set into the brick wall. The light switch is behind a little barrier, and I'm too lazy to go around it, so I just go into the shower alcove in the dark, alone, with my red lens flashlight in one hand and a bottle of bleach in the other. Throw some bleach in each stall, spread it around, then run the shower on hot for a few seconds. Pro cleaning strats. I have all the showers turned on, my flashlight pointed into the last stall at the end of the corridor. What the heck am I looking at? I'm tired and groggy, so I don't register what I'm seeing at first. Some of the water at the very edges of the shower stream is flicking outward, best way I can think to describe it, and only on one side. As I watch it, the flicking starts to shift a bit, abruptly comprehend what I'm seeing. Something invisible is walking around the stream of water, directly towards me. I sprint out of the showers as fast as possible, nearly run into another private. The fuck is wrong, Anon? The light is on out there, so I'm not scared anymore. Already feel like I was overreacting. Nothing. Just trying to get stuff done, you know. Again, I try to blame the experience on me being tired or groggy. Either way, I never went into that alcove alone again. About a week later, be in the latrine with some other privates, avoiding cleaning duties. Go to take a break. Exit the stall a few minutes later. Guys? Hello? No reply. They forgot about me and left. For context, we are supposed to have a battle buddy with us at all times during the day, basically so we learn to be accountable for one another. And so there's a witness if a drill sergeant tries to finger us or something. If we get caught alone, we have to lay down and die until our platoon comes to physically carry us to safety. Look around the latrine to make absolutely sure I'm alone. Yup, I'm fucked. As if on cue, I hear movement in the hallway outside. Better not be anyone malingering in the latrine. It's the fucking senior drill sergeant. I just stand there and wait, ready to accept my fate. She walks into the latrine, looks right at me. Hurry up and go back downstairs, privates. She leaves. What? My dumb ass has drunk the Kool-Aid entirely at this point, and I actually think I have to be honest. Senior drill sergeant, it's just me in here, alone. My battle buddies abandoned me to die. I hear her say, "What?" She sounds audibly confused. She sticks her head back in. What about the other female that was in here? The fucking what now? What female? Senior drill sergeant? The one that was standing right behind you. Oh, fuck. I whip my head around. Obviously, there is no one behind me. I'm standing about 3 feet away from a solid wall. The only place someone could have moved from behind me without me seeing is the laundry alcove, which is clearly empty. Trying not to freak out too much, I ask the senior drill sergeant if the female she saw had long, dark hair. She confirms that it did. Doesn't seem to care that we just saw a ghost and sends me back downstairs. Final story, be on fire guard duty again. I'm standing at the fire guard desk with the other privates on duty. Right across from the desk is the door to the female staircase. To the left of the desk is a long corridor lined with sleeping bays and the latrines. To the right of the desk is another long corridor lined with empty classrooms and ending in a solid wall. Entire corridor is off limits, if only because it's totally empty and there's no reason for us to be down there. I'm falling asleep standing up when the staircase door opens and the drill sergeant on duty walks in. I need another weapons count right away. Movement at the end of the off-limits corridor. He and I both turn to look at the same time. The only light down there is from the moonlight streaming through the windows in the classroom and into the hall. Can just barely see a figure peering out from the very last classroom at the end of the hallway. The drill sergeant grabs my flashlight, points it down the hallway. No one's there. Privates, there better not be anybody fucking around down there. We all insist there isn't. Privates, I just saw someone. Don't fucking lie. Who the hell is sneaking around at night with her hair out of regs? I'm about to start crying. The drill sergeant turns to me and asks if there's anyone up. I'm in his platoon, and he knows at this point that I'm a complete square, and therefore trustworthy. Drill sergeant, I've been standing right here my whole shift, and I didn't see anyone go down there. He stares at me for a second, then says, "Grab your battle buddy and follow me." I hesitate. So does my battle buddy. Jesus Christ, Private, what is it? Are you scared? Really? Yes, drill sergeant. Well, me too, but we gotta check anyway. We walk down the hall, checking every single room. Sure enough, the entire corridor is completely empty. We go into the classroom we saw the figure peek out of. Nothing happens, except that I feel a little sick, but I'm terrified anyway. It takes all the discipline I have not to sprint out of there. As we're going back up the corridor, the drill sergeant looks over his shoulder toward the room a couple of times. What is it, drill sergeant? Nothing. Hurry the fuck up. We get back to the desk. The drill sergeant immediately goes back downstairs without getting the weapons count. That particular incident happened about a month ago. I'm home on con leave for an unrelated injury, and I have to go back in a few weeks. I get the feeling nothing else will happen, but does anyone have any advice anyway? I don't think she'll hurt me, but I still want to protect myself in any way I can.
I'm a single father, recently separated, with joint custody. I have the kids for the summer. I moved to Ohio recently for contract work with a local Air Force base. The kids and I have been staying in a very tiny farmhouse on a remote country road for the time being. The house is so small, I promised the kids we can have pets as soon as I find something more spacious. So my 5 kids and I share a single master bedroom that hosts 2 full-sized beds separated only a few feet by a nightstand. Last night, I slept on one bed with my oldest daughter and my youngest son. The 3 other kids, my oldest son, and middle daughter, took up the other bed. In the dead of night, I'm awakened by the middle daughter on the other bed, who seemed to be whimpering to herself in sheer agony. It turns out she was crying because she didn't have any room on the bed and couldn't fall asleep. I got up and took her to potty, then laid her on the bed I'd been sleeping on with my oldest and youngest kids. I sat on the edge of that bed and coaxed her back to sleep. Exhausted, I went over to the bed that the boys were sleeping on to try to lay along the bottom. But one of the kids was laying there, in my way, bundled under the sheets from head to toe. Perhaps I was too tired, but their stubbornness to be moved was enough for me to give up and squeeze instead next to my oldest boy, moving him to the middle of the bed next to his brother. The next morning, I was awakened by the commotion of the kids as they rustled about getting prepared for school. As I laid there reflecting on what had just happened the night before, I was frozen in utter terror, petrified with a helpless sense of remorse, because I dare not tell them what had just transpired.
Well over a decade ago, have been living in a haunted home for about a year. It's so surreal and terrifying, but we weren't actually hurt. A very alarming incident takes place that finally urges my grandpa for us to move. A week later, we are gone. I vividly remember my grandpa packing boxes in the kitchen. Everything is nearly boxed and has been sent out, except for the TV stand, the couches, and a possessed snowman plushie. It had been possessed the day it arrived. It didn't do anything really, except its eyes moved. I was sitting on the couch making eye contact with it. Every time a smacking sound of boxes being stacked was made, its eyes darted towards Grandpa's direction before locking with me again. It looked a bit faded and perverted, but as I said, it was harmless. Later that night, Mom comes to pick me up. We'll live with her while Grandpa moves in with his son. Move in, sharing the same neighborhood as my aunt. She says it's nice and near the school I attend, so why not? About a few days into a new ghost-free life, my aunt calls. She asks my mom to describe the poltergeists I had been living with previously. They are basically flower-white humanoids with huge colored eyes. The easiest way to describe them is a closed rainbow. Self-explanatory. Their eyes seemed to have many rings, and they were colorful. They weren't exactly rainbow-colored, but you get the idea. Some colors repeated. A common one was violet, but never did they have black, pink, or brown rings. However, their pupils were always black. She then says there is something like that knocking on her door right now. We really didn't know how to react, and I personally didn't want to believe it. Next day after school, we go over to her side of the neighborhood. I see my aunt's daughter and immediately forget about the demon sighting. Instead, I decide to play with her. We are watching TV while my mom and aunt discuss, when we hear knocking. Everyone except me runs towards the bedroom window and looks out towards the direction of the front door. Hear them all say, "There it is, the demon." I run over to see for myself. I see absolutely nothing. I hear knocking, however, but no jawbreaker-eyed demon. Aunt says it won't stop knocking unless we hide. We all go to the bathroom and close the door. Knocking continues for about a half hour before finally stopping. This turns out to be everyday life for my aunt, and every time we come over, we have to hide.
Be me, 17-ish. Home alone, sitting at the computer talking to a friend on Skype. Hear sounds like people talking coming from down the hall in my parents' room. No big deal. They used to leave their TV on all the time because the power button was broken and hard to get it to turn on. Hang on. My parents left their TV on. Gonna go mute it. Get up and start walking down the hall. As I'm nearing, I realize the talking sounds like 5 or more different voices, and their tone sounds urgent and serious. Wonder what channel my parents left on. As soon as the room is in sight and I can see into it, suddenly dead silent. What the fuck? Keep walking in and turn around the corner to look at the TV. It's off. Extremely confused. Not scared, though. The rest of the house is dead silent now. Weirded out, go back to the PC, still confused. The rest of the evening is uneventful. When my parents get home, I tell my mom since she believes in spirits and shit. She's surprised, but not disbelieving. It seems like weird stuff is always happening in this house. What the fuck, Mom? A lot of weird stuff did happen in that house, but that event was one of the weirdest to me. Not counting that I used to get tons of nosebleeds, and as soon as we moved out, they lowered considerably in frequency.
This is kind of a ghost encounter for me, and definitely for my family. My house was built in the 70s. No idea about the first owner, but the dude sold it to my uncle in the 80s. Uncle sold it to my dad in 78 when he wanted to move to the next state over to live with his wife's family, since they'd give him easy mode life and job. Years of no issues. The house is extended, has 4 main areas: upstairs west, upstairs east, downstairs west, and downstairs east. The side I live in is downstairs east. As children, we all lived at one point in downstairs east. My sisters fought all the time to switch rooms, constantly stated about nightmares and weird shit. I never had issues. Years later, baby niece terrified whenever she would go into my area. All 7 dogs my family has had have been terrified shitless of my side and won't be there for more than 20 minutes. When I'm not there, apparently weird shit happens. My radios go off at random intervals when I'm not home. Lights go off and on their own when I'm not home. My mother and siblings all claim to have seen things not natural down here. I think nothing of it. Years and years down here with no issue. I can think of a few instances when the power has gone out in the other 3 sections of the house, but not mine. West side has different power source than east side. 2 water heaters, 2 air conditioners, etc. The only real instance I can remember of anything weird is when I was like 10. At the time, I was living in the room on the downstairs west side. I was going into the laundry room to grab something. I thought I saw a person standing in the main area of downstairs east side. Looked back and no one there. Chalked it up to imagination. If my siblings, mother, and dogs are not just spouting air, apparently Ghost Bro took a liking to me and doesn't mind me. At the very least, it keeps everyone outside of my room since they're scared to death of my basement.
9 to 10 years old, lived in a recently built apartment complex built quite far away from the neighborhood. In my room playing video with my cousin. Doors opened. We start hearing chains rattling in the living room. Assume it's the neighbor from the upper floor. Pay no attention to it until the TV in the living room turned on by itself. Loud static noise. Went to turn it off. In the exact same moment, the kitchen sink opened by itself too. Start to get spooked. My cousin is already pale in fear. Me too, but try to keep it cool since I'm older and shit. Close the sink. We hear the rattling again, this time much louder and clearly from inside our apartment, coming from the goddamn hallway. Nope, out of there. Leave the TV and the video game on. Lock the door, and I remember clearly as the day that I heard people arguing inside. Run for the building's door. Look behind. A little girl, pale black eyes and short black hair staring at me. She looks sad, almost as if crying. Me and my cousin run for about 4 kilometers all the way to our grandma's house. My family moved out not very long after. Another one, around 15 to 16 years old, living with my parents in my grandma's old house, which is very big and has another separate house close by where she slept. Playing Tales of Pirates as I did every day right after getting back from school. Don't bother checking if there was anyone home. Just grab a bite and log in. Hours go by. I open the door so my cat could freely come and go from the room. I hear children's footsteps running in the hallway. Assume it's my little sister. My peripheral vision catches a black silhouette of a little girl running from the direction of the living room, across my room's door towards my parents' room. Assume again that it's just my little sister screwing around. Can hear her opening my mom's jewelry box and the metal pieces rattling against each other as if she was choosing one. I yell at her not to mess around with mom's stuff. Noise suddenly stops, then continues. Get butt mad and go to my parents' room to scold my sister. No one is there. The jewelry box was, in fact, open. The air was freezing cold despite being the middle of December, summer in the southern hemisphere. Shiver all the way from my hairline to my butt cheeks, literally teared up from fear, tearing up right now as I'm typing this. Later on, I searched the whole place. No one was home. I never mentioned it to anyone other than my cousin, who remembered the first story I posted.
Be me, 16 years old at the time. Walk around the town with a couple of friends at night. It was like 9 to 10 p.m. Pass by near the school building. One of the buildings still functions as a school. The other one got abandoned after it almost got burned down. For no reason, we decide to go into the building. What could go wrong? .png. We enter the building through one of the busted doors. It was blocked by a couple of dumped beer cans. Start walking around the building and looking around the rooms. Piles of rubbish and old desks and chairs everywhere. Suddenly hear footsteps coming from one of the corridors. As the white people we are, we decided to walk towards them and see what was up. Walk towards the footsteps. Pitch black. Can't see shit. Pull out my phone and turn on the flashlight. Point the flashlight towards the end of the corridor. Catch something moving around with the corner of my eye. Didn't think much of it at the time. Walk further inside. As we walk further down the corridor, we start hearing many other sounds. Heard giggling at some point. Two of the guys I was with requested that we go back. They were scared shitless. Ignore them and keep moving. We finally get to the other end of the building. No light enters the other end, and the majority of the rooms and the interior are burned. Realize we're stepping in some ashes. Realize that the ashes are scattered around some somewhat preserved objects. Decide to check out objects around the ash. Still dark. All we had were our flashlights. Not sure what I'm touching. .mp4. Find a photo by accident. It's a picture of a girl in a school uniform, but her face was burned off, probably by the fire. Find some more photos, but we could see nothing in them. Hear screaming out of the blue as we picked up the photos. What the fuck? .gif. That's our cue to go. Start running towards the door that we came from. We get separated by accident and get lost in the corridors. Scared shitless officially at this point. Walking around slowly as if trying to avoid a murderer. Walk around the corridors looking for my friends. Use my flashlight to walk around the building. Don't shout out to anyone since we still have no idea where the scream came from. Keep looking around the building. Hear something in a room near me. Sounds like talking, but much quieter and in some weird language. Be a dumb 16-year-old twat and check it out on your own. Enter the room and see some girl standing in the middle of the room with her back turned towards me. She was wearing the same clothes from that one picture with the burned face I saw earlier. Oh shit, it's the same girl. Move. She just stands there. Doesn't do shit. I don't do shit either. She suddenly turns her head towards me. Bitch had no face. Be paralyzed and unable to move. She still doesn't do anything. Just staring. Suddenly hear one of my friends yelling my name. Turn around to yell back and tell them where I am. They come by quickly and ask me what the fuck am I doing? Tell them there was this one lady that was in the room. Turn to look towards the lady once more. She's gone. Nani.mp3. They all look at me confused. Turns out they saw something similar as well. We decide to just ignore what we saw and walk out of the building. On our way out, I keep turning backwards. She was always peeking out from behind the walls, but whenever my friends turned around too, she would not be there. Finally found our way out. Got out of the building. As we walked away from the building, I turn around once more to look at the building. She was staring down at me from one of the windows. She disappeared soon after. Never went into the building again. The next day, tell my friends what I saw. They told me they saw her too, but in a different room, before coming to find me. Our descriptions of her match. Daz fucked up. Move. We decided to check out what the hell went down back when the building got burned down. Sometime later, after asking around and whatnot, we got a pic of what might have happened. The girl in question was trapped within the building with a couple of her friends. They couldn't get out of the building and died in the fire. Her spirit seems to still be trapped there. She's still roaming the halls in the building.
Be me, 2 years ago. On family vacation on the west coast of Michigan. Stay at a small town called Harbor Springs. Very nice historical homes. Never see a single cop car the entire time because it's a small town. Never felt safer. PNG. Stay at a hotel that's been around since colonial times that British soldiers used for lodging. Night 2 comes. Have an odd, vivid dream about the town's grade school building up on the hill. Dream I'm years younger and a student there. Dream I'm walking around the interior with some other kids at night. We are looking for something or someone. We make our way into a large storage area. One of my dream friends locks the door. We surround one of the kids in the group, tell him we know he killed her, surround him. I wake up. See a middle-aged nun standing at the foot of my bed. She is looking at me. Had been watching me sleep, probably. She is smiling, but not really in a menacing way, holding a small candle that is cupped in her hands at chest level. The light illuminates her face and habit, nun robe. Holy goddamn shit. Exe. She vanishes seconds after I notice, leaving a kind of weird imprint in the air for a second, like the kind you'd see when you turn off an older DLP television. I am horrified. I stare around the room while my brother and parents are sleeping for hours. Don't see her again. Sun starts to come in through the east window. Feel at ease enough to fall asleep again. Wake up and go about my day. Sure that what had happened, happened. Bring it up later that night. Family dismisses my claims. Disappointing, but not surprising. Afraid I'd have a repeat of the night before, but I don't see or hear anything for the remainder of the trip. Don't find much on the place when I go digging later on. I see things from time to time when I get sleep paralysis, but I was never immobile that night. I'm more bothered by the pairing of the dream and the nun than either individually. Saw things differently after that night.
When I was about 7, I used to sneak out of my room late at night after my mum was asleep, so I could watch the Tom Green show. Wasn't allowed to watch it normally. So this one night, I'm sitting on the couch watching it, and there was a door to my right going into the kitchen, and a door to my left going to the bedrooms. Clear as day, a full-bodied shadow man walked in the door from my right, passed in front of the TV, which I could see through his body, and entered the door to my left. His arms were swaying like a real person. Everything about him was normal, except he was only a shadowy silhouette. Fast forward about 15 years. I'm coming home to the same house at around 3 a.m. I come in the front door and immediately look down the stairs next to the front door. And at the bottom of the steps is what I believe to be this same shadow figure. His body is facing away from me down the hall, but his head is turned and looking up at me. Very quickly after we see each other, his head turns straight and he walks off down the hall. Haven't seen him since, and the second incident was about 6 years ago now. True story, and not my story, but women from 3 different generations of my family have claimed to see the apparition of an old woman in grey, standing in the same corner of the same bedroom after they were randomly woken up in the middle of the night.
Live in an apartment across the hall from an elderly woman who suffers from severe mental issues. The lady is clumsy and bumps around all day making loud noises. Me? I don't usually give a fuck because of loud music and video games. Be a few weeks ago. Ask the landlord to fix a window in my apartment. Landlord comes to fix the window. Tell him that the lady across the hall has been extra loud with her clumsy banging around lately. Landlord stares at me wide-eyed, face bleach white pale. Tells me the old lady died more than a month ago. I assure him someone is still living there. Heard them just the other night. He goes to check. I follow behind him. Her apartment door is locked, plus the safety lock. The landlord unlocks both. We step in. The place is abandoned. Dust settled all over the wood floor. No footprints. Windows boarded shut. Nope. Pack a carry bag and move in with my sister for a while. Haven't been back since. This is an old story from years ago. I've since moved out from that place. Fuck that shit.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.